My name is Christoph Steindl. I founded Catalyst 10 years ago in Austria. In the meantime, we have become quite well known in Austria, much more well known, obviously, than in Romania. And we have achieved something already in those recent years. For this talk, I'm going to focus on how we enable innovation, what we do to enable innovation within our team and for our customers, our clients. It's basically three things that I want to focus on. First and foremost, it's about the people. You need to get the right people into the team, obviously. That's not all. You also need to have the right environment for the people to develop. And then the third ingredient from our point of view is you need to add just enough SSP. That's an acronym. I'm going to explain that in a few minutes. So listen, stay tuned. We want to enable innovation much more through getting the right people and the right environment, much more than throwing money onto people, like having gym subscriptions, free whatever, hairdressers, massages, free lunches. We've seen that there can be a benefit by those perks, but it doesn't automatically lead to innovation. The first and most important thing is to have curious people. You may know Albert Einstein. One of quotes from him is that you don't necessarily be extremely talented, but if you're curious, you can get done a lot of things. So, what is it that it's all about? What is this kind of curiosity? Curiosity is the gap that we experience if we want to know something, if we know a little bit already and we want to know more. So you have this kind of curve here. At the beginning, when you know a little or nothing about the subject, you're not especially interested in learning more. When I know a little bit about the subject and I learn a little bit more, I get more and more interested. I want to put it into practice. That's when I get to the height of this curve, where the curiosity zone is, where most of the learning actually takes place. I'm interested, I want to dig into the topic much more. I want to learn more. Then when I think I've pretty much covered it, when I know mostly what there is to know, then my curiosity declines again. So that's the sweet spot where I know enough to be interested to learn more. So we have to be careful to establish this environment where the curiosity zone is there for you to experience and where you want to learn more. And another thing that is in a way strange, if it's easy to learn something, then it doesn't really get into your heads. If you learn something rapidly just for getting to an exam and getting past an exam, you don't really integrate it with all your knowledge in your brains. So learning has to be difficult, so that you have a chance to integrate it into your brains. And there's a caveat: fear kills curiosity. If you're afraid of something, you cannot be creative, you cannot be curious. So fear is bad, rewards are bad as well. That's a strange thing. If you want to have curious people, you should not incentivize them. You shouldn't have rewards, incentives for creative solutions. If you have rewards, people are more and more focused. The more focused you are, the less creative you are. So that's a strange thing. You have to provide safety, slack, free space for people to be interested, curious. There's another trait that is important for us, that is experimentation. We need to have people that have an experimentation mindset. The inventor of the light bulb said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. So we need those people who are not afraid of failing, who give it another try until they succeed. So of course we do a lot of things with a scientific approach. We have our theory, we predict, we put up an experiment, we perform the experiment, we see what comes out, and then maybe throw away the theory, adapt the theory. This mindset is important. together with the curiosity. So what have we done to get the right people, those people with a curious mindset and the experimentation mindset into our team? Finding those people isn't especially easy. Thanks for your introduction, where you mentioned the Catalyst Coding Contest. That's an important source for us. We do it, organize it twice per year, 2 events with around 1,000 participants each. We have an employee referral program, which we call the Catalyst Talent Quest, where employees recommend other people, friends, to Catalysts. We get, through those two practices, we get around 1,000 applications per year without paying ads, without investing money into headhunters or recruiters. And from those 1,000 applications, we screen for the right people, the curious people with the experimentation mindset, and then we select typically between 5 and 6% from those 1,000 people. They are the best fit for us, for our team. We also have an enormous amount of internships. We're still a relatively small company, 140 developers, but we use internships to get to know a lot of more candidates. In Austria, at least, there are no lectures during February, so we take those 2, 3, or 4 weeks of lecture-free time for the first-year students and offer them internships. 20 or 30 people join our team for those couple of weeks. We have longer internships during the summer and have 40 to 50 people who join our team for those weeks or months. And if you compare that to the team size of 140 people, that means that we have 1 intern per 2 or 3 people within the company. That's really a lot. And that also means that a lot of people who get to work with us have then the chance to get back into their classrooms, their environments, and then speak with their friends and pupils and colleagues about what they have experienced. So we have established an ambassador program where they can then be the best, in a way, best marketers for us. They talk and explain what they have done and why we have done what in which way. So they are our ambassadors. We invite them back to us. We invite them back to our educational events, our conferences that we organize ourselves. We invite them to our team events, to our Christmas parties, etc. So we try to stay in close connection with our former interns so that they can come back and recommend their friends to us. We've also seen that it's important to be open and explicit up front. People have to understand what they are going to expect when they are in our environment. So there's a detailed handbook for new employees. There are a lot of anonymous reviews on platforms like konono.com. We have dozens of videos on YouTube that you can watch to check out what it would be like, what the environment would be that could help you to grow from just a regular software developer to a star. So those things provide a lot of information to the people who are interested in becoming a star. They get that information up front, and it also makes sure that our environment then has to match those expectations. We have to make sure that we actually deliver on the promises. So promise up front, be explicit, and you will get the right applications, the people that are interested in exactly that environment. Which means that we have less waste, less work to process all those applications, since they're already a good fit for our team, for our culture. And we organize open days. Basically, we invite people, students and customers, clients to our offices. We do that 2 or 3 times per year. And we have something like 200, 300 visitors at those open days where we show everything, like all the projects, all the results, and we explain the way of work. So that's always an amazing event, not just for us, but for our employees, our people who demonstrate their projects for the parents, for the friends, and for our customers. So with the right people, you then need to provide the right environment. I'm going to focus here on 4 points. how to get individuals to teams and then to get them on a hockey stick, how we use values to provide or to foster cohesion, how we gamify basically everything, and how we turn the individuals, the teams, into a learning organization. Initially, you often start out with a group of people. Basically a couple of individuals. They have their personal interests. They are not aligned with each other, not aligned with the team or with the company goal. So you start out with a group of more or less oriented people, and you need to get them in the same direction, directed in the same direction. You have to provide a vision to make them understand that's the direction, the right direction. If they work together as a team, if you provide all the coaching that is necessary, you can then manage their velocity and over time make them get on the hockey stick to get ever more performing, to get them to become a high performance team. The trick here is how to get the people aligned, how to get them focused on the right thing. And what we have learned is that values can really help you to get that cohesion. And I don't talk about the vision and value statement that you typically see with companies that just sounds fine and doesn't really work in practice. What we have adopted is the following approach to sort out the values that are really important. So first, we talk about core values. The core values are the 2 or 3 behavioral traits that are really important to us. They are so important that we would allow ourselves to be punished for living those values, and we may sometimes take those values too far. There are also a couple of permission to play values, the basis. If you don't behave like we expect, the permission to play values, then you're not allowed into the team. If you violate those values, you get the yellow card. If you violate them twice, you get the red card and will be removed from the team. So they are important, but by themselves, they do not give us a competitive advantage. That's something like fairness. Of course, you have to be fair, but being fair doesn't give you a competitive advantage. There are also some aspirational values on top. Those are the things, the values, they are not here automatically. We want to have them, we want to adopt them, we want to bring them into our organization. So we know we want to have them, we are going to do a lot to get them here. And from time to time it happens that you may have adopted accidental values. Values that you didn't really want to have, they are not especially helpful. And you should understand, recognize them, and try to manage them out again, to get rid of them if they don't really give you a benefit. In our experience, it has been important to sort out the values, to understand what really to focus on, what are the core values, what are the permission to play values, which are the ones that you want to develop, the aspirational ones. We have also seen that gamification, this buzzword, is useful in everyday's life. Why? We are all gamers. Nearly, almost. All our children, at least, are gamers, playing video and computer games, and at least 2/3 of all grown-ups play computer games. So we expect everything to behave like a game. What we have done is we have gamified the way how we find people. The Catalyst coding contest, with the Catalyst telling quest, with many more additional things. We have gamified the way how people come on board, and then we manage the learning curve from the first day, first couple of weeks, first months. So challenging the people, getting them the right level of challenge, not too much of a challenge, not too little of a challenge, just the right kind of challenge, the achievable task. That's important. Taking it literally, there are a couple of gaming nights where our people organize gaming nights for friends, not just for employees, but for friends to reach out. We have a lot of team events just for our people, and we also think that it's important that family members, partners, are part of us from time to time. Not all the time, not with every team event, but we have roughly once per month evening dinners where we invite our partners. They should understand how we tick, what we do, why we do what we do. The more they understand us, the more they accept that there may be times when it's harder, when there's more work, so that they can still back up us, our employees, in those more difficult times. And we celebrate babies and weddings and all that stuff. So we are way more than 100 people already, but we are still one large family. So we have worked hard to keep up this environment where we dearly appreciate that we are not just working together, but we have our private lives, and we are growing there as well. So individually, we started with curious people. Each individual person is curious, which means that he or she is learning a lot by themselves. You don't have to tell them to learn. It even has a negative effect if you tell people that they should learn something or that they should learn more. If you tell them to learn more, they will become defensive or not do that anymore so much. So we start out with curious people. We provide the right environment, which also means that we nudge them into sharing their knowledge. It must be quite common to share whatever you know. So you shouldn't build your ivory tower and learn more, but not give it to others. But you should give more and more to your colleagues. The more you give, the more you're going to receive back from your colleagues. So from the curious individual with the sharing mindset and with a team of like-minded people, you're going to give a lot, but you're also going to get back a lot. In the end, it's going to be a balance, an equilibrium where you give and get, where every individual learns a lot, where the team learns a lot, where the teams learn from each other, where the company learns a lot. So that gives you, in the end, the learning organization. And coming back to the acronym SSP, it doesn't happen automatically. You have to add just enough SSP. You may know about Google's 20% time. Initially, it was called the Friday where you can do whatever you want to do. So initially, Google said there should be enough freedom for people to be innovative, to do whatever they want. This freedom was meant to be one day in the week. Then it was more lived like it came on top of the 40 or 50 or 60 hours that you worked already. In the recent years, they reduced it more and more, so that freedom is not there anymore. They meant it to be a bottom-up wave of innovation, so that every Googler can do whatever he wants and have great ideas. But over time, they have understood or seen that really great initiatives like Google Car or Google Glass, they do not come to existence from the bottom up. You need to do that with a concerted effort, top down, much more top down. So Google has learned that you need just enough SSP, strategy, structure, and process. With strategy, I mean you need to provide the goal, the understanding what to do, in which direction to go, what to reach for. If you say, we want to have an autonomous car, the Google car, then everybody knows the vision, the long-term goal. That's important to convey. You also need to have enough structure. That's the common rules. Who and what should be done? How much time is available? How much money can be spent? That common structure is important for everybody to understand. And then you need the process, the common approach, how to do something, how to go about it, how to organize, how to decide what to do. Then if you start doing something, how to synchronize within the team, within the teams, across the teams. So together with the strategy, the structure, and the process, you can be sure that innovation actually happens. If you rely on random innovation, on bottom-up innovation, you cannot be safe that there actually will be innovation. I'm going to give you two examples where we have used this strategy, structure, and process to reliably innovate within our team. The first example is what we call development roadmaps. Within Catalyst, we have, of course, a couple of disciplines. We have the software developers, we have growth hackers, we have business requirements engineers. Those are the disciplines. And for each discipline, we have the newbies, the intermediates, the experts. And if a new team member joins Catalyst, he or she should know who are the knowledgeable people, who are the ones to go to, even if it's just to go for lunch together so that you can learn from each other. So the goal is for us to have a learning organization, to make it visible and transparent, who knows what. But not in a way where we put together huge databases, knowledge databases where you have to feed in all that information. But what we do is we collect material, whatever is interesting or relevant, we collect it. Like there can be books or tutorials or presentations. We make that information available to everybody. That is the large bar here, the knowledge resources. We put the most valuable pieces, most valuable books on the roadmap. The roadmap is then structured into basic, intermediate, and expert books. You see those shelves here. And that makes the learning curve explicit, which means that a new team member who is interested in, let's say, software architecture, if he's a software developer already, he knows a lot about software development, and if he or she wants to grow into software architecture, the first thing that he would do is reach out to the basic shelf and take one of those books or tutorials that we have there. So it's organized, visible, transparent enough. We have a simple procedure how to get a new book. If you want a book, you can just send a procurement task and it will be ordered. If it's typically what we use nowadays, if it's an ebook, like a Kindle book, you get it within a few minutes, so you have it available and all the others in the team. So we organize the roadmap, we facilitate the learning, and we have a metaphor that we use. We gamify learning. We say initially every person is a small I, small letter I. You have your background, you may be a mobile developer, and the more you work with others, the more you learn, the more experience you acquire. You grow from a small capital letter I into a large I. And then you grow into a full stack developer, you become a T. And once you're a T, you have more areas of expertise. That's fine already. But as you see in this spider diagram here, if you start out as a software developer, you might turn into architecture, and you might stumble into quality assurance and requirements engineering and gamification, whatever. So you don't end up with an I or a T, but in the end, you become a star. You have multiple dimensions where you grow more and more expertise. And by visualizing that, by making it clear what there is to know, by making everything available to everybody, we have an environment where each individual learns what there is to learn for him or her. We don't push people to do that, but we make it available so they can keep learning all the time. They don't have to stop learning once university is over. And there's another area where we have used the strategy, structure, process thingy. That is, we go to conferences like today, here, Cruise IT Days. Why? Because there may be so many new things. We are in a dynamic field. So many things happen that we might have missed. So what we do is we go to conferences ourselves. We check out the programs of conferences that we cannot attend for some reason. We collect the material, as I've said before. We bring that material to our experts in the fields. If it's a software architecture conference, we have our software architects that check it out, that try to understand whether or not it's a really brand new thing, an important thing, or whether we can reject it. So we try to understand what there is that we should take a look. Basically, we manage a backlog of technologies. We have a radar, we survey everything, and once there's something that sounds interesting, we try to understand it, we try to evaluate it, and we put it on the backlog and then decide who is going to do the evaluation when. Once we have evaluated the technology, it may be that we reject it, we don't want to use the technology or we adopted technology. So once we have adopted something, when we have found something valuable, what we do is we try to acquire deep knowledge, just dig into it as far as we can. And we need to build up the capacity, have enough people who know a lot about it. So that's the part here. What we want to have is, with the technology radar, the overview of all the technologies that we want to have. We also manage the life cycle, which means there may be technologies, frameworks that we have used for some time, but we are going to sunset it. We're not going to use it in new projects anymore. And we do that explicitly, and not just in one head, but we want to make that information available to everybody. Why? New projects often start by copying the infrastructure from older projects. So it may easily happen that you keep doing the same or keep using the same frameworks, versions of frameworks, even if they are already sunsetted. In a way, you shouldn't use them anymore. So bottom line is that our technology radar is about knowing where we want to go, what there is that we should know, digging into there, getting there fast or faster. And if we're not the first ones to be somewhere, if we are not the first ones to adopt one of the new frameworks, then at least it's important for us to be faster at learning, so that in the end we are ahead of most of our competitors. So to summarize, what do we do to enable innovation? First, here I now say we have to manage the right people in. Of course, that's not a strict management task, since I'm not the manager of the people who have not yet, not even applied with catalysts. But in a way, you have to provide a lot of things such that the right people want to come to you and want to work with your team. So you have to, in a way, manage the environment and everything so that they can apply. Then you have to work hard to make the shared values understandable so that they can live by the shared values, that you have the cohesion. And then our idea is to gamify basically everything, from how to get them on board, how to manage their learning curve, how to make them become from a small capital I to a large, to a T, to a star, so that we keep growing. We do not want to rely on innovation to happen just randomly, but our approach is to provide the goal, the understanding, where do we want to go, how are we going to get there, provide enough structure, common rules, to adapt those rules if necessary, so it's not a burdensome methodology or something like that. It's flexible enough, and we provide enough structure and process, whatever money and time is important to get there. If that has been interesting for you, you can easily reach out to me. I'm available. Just Google me. That's easy. I'm going to be here for some more time as well. You can talk with me. And I didn't add detailed references to all my slides. So at the end of the presentation, there are a lot of references on how to get the right people, how to gamify, and how to provide the right environment. There are a lot of good sources, information sources here. I don't know how you typically share those slides. You're really free to share the slides. If you can send them around, it's fine. If you're not going to do that, I'm going to post them on SlideShare, so you have them available rather soon, I guess. So take out the interesting bits, throw away the other parts, and if you have something to share with me, if I can learn from you, please let me know. So mental capacity is important. So you need to be smart, bright, whatever. Experience is important. Most of our people have started coding, software development at a young age, like 12, 13, 14 years, and have kept doing so during their young years. It doesn't have to be software development, it can be playing chess, whatever, but something that exercises your brain and that in the end results into a quite analytical brain. That's one aspect. Then you also mentioned the social part. That's important. Yeah, really important. We have adopted how to call that psychological survey mechanism that we didn't develop ourselves, but that has come from the consultancies that do that. So we have a short survey, 5-minute survey where you answer 20 questions, where you yourself, the applicant, gets a good understanding whether or not he or she has deficiencies in the social skills area. There are 17 categories that are important for your business career to develop your career perfectly. So there's a short screening, 5-minute screening. If there are indications that you have areas where you should develop, there's a 1-hour-long screening, many more questions, much more detailed analysis then. So that's the way how we make people understand not just how to develop technically, but on the social skills area as well. And that's important. Even much more important, not for every team member, yeah. But the more you're a coach or a team leader, the more important those social skills are. Since you're leading people, and you need to be a good, authentic leader. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of things for 10 years. Maybe that's the reason. It's not, well, I'm sure we're the only company in Austria with those results. Nobody else does those internships, for example. Typically, you have a couple of interns, and what they do is uninteresting, uninspiring. We invest a lot more time and effort. So we do many things quite explicitly that others don't do, and in the end, it gives you results.
Okay, so maybe internships plus the content.
Plus 100 other things, yes. We talk about those things. Everybody could copy them. Nobody does. We do it in a lot of areas. We do it not just for us, but for clients as well, in areas like Windows 8 rollout scenario, how to gamify rollout of an infrastructure part. So you can gamify everything. There needs to be a payoff, and for us, the biggest payoff is for the learning part. Getting the right people and getting them to learn together. That's why we focus here. The next part that we are going to gamify is project acquisition, so reaching out to our clients and existing clients to get more referral business. So we get from area to area and gamify everything over time.